So Pixar is a animation studio that used to be one of the most beloved animation studios of all time, obviously. But now we have every Pixar movie ranked from 26 to number 1. So I'm wondering, what did people... Because I could pull out my own ranking and my own opinions, but this is by the aggregate scores of you guys. This is the scores you guys gave Pixar movies. And the scores we'll be using is ranked by positive scores. The amount of because, for example, some of the higher rated movies all have very similar negative reviews. They'll all be tied for the bottom, especially the top movies as well. And there's gonna be a lot of ties later on because several Pixar movies have very similar reception. But yeah, we'll be ranking Pixar's worst number 26 to number 1. It's funny, number 1 and number 26 are both part of the same franchise, obviously, which is funny. But yeah, number 26 is Right Yo. Yes, Right Yo is Pixar's worst movie ever. You think that, Pixar's such a great company. What score would Pixar's worst movie get? A 30, a 40? No. 17% of people liked Right Yo. Yeah, that's abysmal. That is one of the lowest scores ever. Even movies like 65 are considered better than Right Yo. I guess Pixar got to pat themselves on the back for making the worst movie they have ever made. 17% liked Right Yo. That's sad. And yeah, people didn't really like this movie all too much. It didn't make money. People thought this movie was unnecessarily pointless. People didn't really like the story, the plot, the characters. People didn't like how they replaced Buzz Lightyear's voice. There's so many reasons why people didn't like this movie. And that's why it's at number 26. Number 25. You knew this one was coming. Cars 2. Yes. We'll talk about Cars 2. Cars 2 had an average score, positive reviews of 30%. Which is actually higher than Right Yo got. But Cars 2, wasn't really expecting Cars 2 to be ranked very high. I was expecting it to be near the bottom. Everybody hates this movie. Everybody said this is example of Pixar's worst. Everywhere online. And if you like this movie, how dare you? If you like this movie highly, how dare you? But 30% of people actually like this movie. So that means 1/3 of people like Cars 2. Not as bad, not as much as the holy white, 1/5 of people that liked Right Yo. But Cars 2 should get an award for not being Pixar's worst movie anymore. And it took a decade to be dethroned as Pixar's worst movie. Number 24. Turning Red. Yes. Turning Red. Okay. The amount of hate this movie has is hilarious. I don't like this movie either. But yeah. Turning Red has an average score that you guys gave of 34%. And yeah, if you like a movie that is rated too low or rated too high, I sort of put that disclaimer earlier, don't complain. It is what you guys gave in the polls. And we're basically ranking the aggregate of the positive reviews together. Next, we'll be doing the MCU and John Wick movies as well. Again, the John Wick movies are not that hard to rank because all the movies are in the high 80s. So, yeah. But yeah, Turning Red is Pixar's worst, one of the worst. And it's this only 1/3 of people actually liked this movie, which is funny. Number 23. So the Cars sequels are not really that liked. I thought more people would like Cars 3, but nope, only 48% of people like Cars 3, which is actually much higher than movies like Turning Red. Cars 3 did beat out Turning Red. And it's funny, it only took until 2022 for Cars to be dethroned by Turning Red and Right Yo. Yeah, that's how bad Pixar's gotten now. That the franchise that people mock Pixar for most is no longer the worst franchise. I bet if we get a Turning Red 2, that would be like the worst Pixar movie ever. But yeah, Cars 3 only has a 38% of people liking the movie. I thought this movie was decent, but again, people didn't really like Cars 3 all too much. Number 22. The Good Dinosaur. Yeah, people don't like this movie. Not surprised. 44% of people like The Good Dinosaur. Which, yeah, not too surprising. This movie is considered one of Pixar's weakest movies by everybody. And it still beat Cars 2, 3, Turning Red, and Right Yo at least. you know, you know, but yeah, this movie got got destroyed. Like no one watched it either. It watched to the Hunger Games and some other movies they released against. But yeah, now we're going on with the negative Pixar movies. Two movies that are more mixed. Number 21. Onward. Yes. Onward. This movie, yeah, not even in the top 20. That's how many Pixar movies they have released. But Pixar's newer movies, you can see a trend with Pixar's newer movies. They're all not as highly rated as the older movies. Yeah, Onward is another one that people don't really care about all too much. And yeah, Onward has an average score of 52%, which is pretty bad. Not as bad as the last 5 movies, but Onward is still at the bottom of Pixar's movies. But at least 52% of people like this movie. I thought it was a fine movie, but it's not as well good as the other movies. Not too surprising. Number 20, Finding Dory. Despite this movie making for $1 billion, this movie is another movie that's absolute proof. Just because a movie makes money, people are not going to like it. So, Finding Dory exists. It's a sequel to Finding Nemo, and yeah, not many people really like Finding Dory all too much. 53% of people like this movie. But yeah, it's still pretty low, number 20. 53% of people liking it. But yeah, it's just another one of Pixar's newer movies that people don't really care about. But it came out, but the movie's already 6 years old. 7 years old. It's 7 years old now. Okay, yeah, that's how old this movie is. But yeah, number 19, Brave. So people don't really care about Brave all too much, despite winning Best Animated Feature. Yeah, despite this movie winning Best Animated Feature, people always think this near the bottom. And that's like a Pixar's movies. At least it escaped the bottom list. At least it escaped the bottom list because of Pixar's newer movies like Turning Red and White Yellow, and Onward coming out. But Brave only had 59% of people liked Brave. So, yeah, not really a good look for this movie despite winning Best Movie of the year. Number 18, Monsters University. So, Monsters University, yeah, people don't really like this movie as much as Monsters Inc. I saw this movie a couple times. But yeah, Monsters University is a prequel to Monsters Inc. And people don't really like this movie as much as the first movie. But it has a respectable 60% score. So yeah, it's a very respectable score. It didn't really win anything at the Oscars. But yeah, number 17. I'm actually shocked that Soul is ranked as lowly as it is. I know Pixar's made a lot of very great movies, but Soul is at 17%. No, at 17, not 17%. It's at 17. The score for Soul was 63%, so people didn't really care about this movie all too much. Maybe they didn't really get the message of Soul, but yeah, this is considered one of Pixar's weaker movies, which is, but I think Soul's really just around the middle of the pack when it comes to Pixar movies. Pixar's released a lot of movies over the years, and Soul being rated 13, which is surprising because people consider Pixar's like last great movie, one of Pixar's better movies that they have released over the past 5 years, past decade even, but yeah. Now done Soul, so number 16, Toy Story 4. So outside of Lightyear, Toy Story 4 is the most rated Toy Story movie. Okay, this movie isn't as well beloved as the other 3 Toy Stories, which are much higher than Toy Story 4. But yeah, people didn't like this movie as much as the other movies, despite it getting 64%, because it was unnecessary. Toy Story 3 just had that perfect ending, and they just made a Toy Story 4, and also make a Toy Story 5 as well. I wonder where that will rank. Number 13. We have a tie between 2 movies. Yes, we're going to have several ties rated up in this list, but both Ruko and A Bug's Life have a 65%. Okay, Ruko is Pixar's highest rated movie of this decade, which is the 2020s, And yeah, 65% people like it. I'm actually surprised that Ruka's the highest rated. I thought it would be Seoul, but nope, Ruka is considered a better movie by a hair, with its 2%. But yeah, Ruka is a 20, 21. And I think this movie has kind of grown on a lot of people. I thought it would be, lower than Soul, Monsters University and Toy Story 4 and even Brave. Because most people said it was a good movie, but not as good as other movies. But again, Luca, I think, is a movie that is growing on people more and more. And of course, we have A Bug's Life. This is one of Pixar's, older movies. It has never been ranked as other movies, but again, Bug's Life has a fandom. It exists, but not as well as other Pixar movies, obviously. Bug's Life, of course, never got a sequel. Yeah, it never did. It probably may never get a sequel, despite it being one of Pixar's oldest movies as well. So yeah, Bug's Life and Ruka, 65%. So we have yet another tie with two movies receiving 71%. Cars and The Incredibles 2. So Cars is the highest rated movie in the Cars franchise at 31%. A lot of people like this, but there are still a lot of people who don't like this movie because it's a part of the Cars series, which is no one's surprise. And now let's talk about The Incredibles 2. Yeah, this is actually the, besides the Toy Story sequels, this is actually the highest rated sequel. Okay? But again, I think the thing with Toy Story is they'll probably plan Toy Story to be a trilogy. And then they just made Toy Story 4, and then they just made Lightyear, and this, But Incredibles 2, people have been waiting for like a decade for this movie to get a sequel. Not as high as the first Incredibles. I don't really like either Incredibles 1 and 2. That's my opinion, but yeah, Incredibles 1 and 2. Incredibles 2 is at number 13, tied with Cars. And thus missing out in the top 10 is Coco. Yeah, Coco just misses the top 10. At 11th place with an average score of 78%. Bent. So yeah, Coco is a very well received movie. I don't think anybody hates this movie. Say for the 10 movies ahead of it, I don't really think anybody hates Coco. There are probably some people who do because they don't like Pixar's newest movies and think that, they're woke or something. But yeah, Coco is at 78%. Number 10. So, breaking into the top 10 is Inside Out. So, Inside Out is the 10th best Pixar movie of all time. And yeah, 80% of people like this movie. Yeah, we'll get into the 80% here. Of course, Inside Out, I think it's probably the newest movie in the top 10, coming out in 2015. But yeah, a lot of people love this movie, which is no one's surprise. Inside Out is at number 10. Best Pixar movies. So yeah. Number 9. Up. The average score for Up is around 82%, which is very similar to the IMDb score the movie has received. So Up, of course, is, always praised for like the first 10 minutes of the movie. But I think people don't really talk about the other part of the movie. I thought this movie was an okay movie, but again, the last time I saw this movie was in 2009. So yeah, don't take my opinion any lightly as well. So yeah. But 82% of people liked Up, which makes it in the top 10 Pixar movies of all time. Now we have another tie. WALL-E and Toy Story 3. So Toy Story 3 is by many Toy Story fans are seen as the definitive end for the Toy Story series, which is no one's surprise as well. So it has an average score of 83%, along with WALL-E, which also has an average score of 83% positive. Both of these movies are both really well received and are probably going to be well beloved probably until the end of time, until at least humanity disappears off the face of the earth. So yeah. Yeah, that wasn't a pun because that's what WALL-E is basically about. So yeah. Number 6. The Incredibles. We're talking about the first movie, not the sequel. We won't talk about the sequel, but yeah. It says film franchise, but we're talking about the first movie. So yeah, Incredibles has an 86%. Which is actually on par with the John Wick movies, but yeah, But Incredibles is, despite me not really caring about this series all too much, it still has, this movie and its sequel still has a very big fan base. It's probably why Incredibles 2 made $1 billion. Yeah, The Incredibles 2 made $1 billion. The first movie made $600 million, but a lot of people love this movie. And I think, despite my opinion on this movie, a lot of people will still like this movie until the end of time. And it'll still rank it highly among Pixar's movies. So yeah, now we're getting to the top movies, the top 5. And we have a last tie. Monsters Inc. and Toy Story 2. So both of these movies are well beloved. 89% of people like this movie. So basically, if you think this movie's average, mediocre, or bad, you're in the extreme minority here, because most people like these movies. I don't remember the last time I saw Monsters Inc., but everybody says it's such an amazing movie. Maybe one day I'll rewatch Monsters Inc., because the last time I saw it was probably when I was a little kid. And of course, we have Toy Story 2. Of course, I think that Toy Story 3 is better than Toy Story 2. Well, of course, it's definitely better than Toy Story 4, obviously, because Toy Story 4 exists, and they had to make that movie. But again, both movies are tied at number 5. Number 3, Finding Nemo. 90% of people like Finding Nemo, which is a no one surprise. It is considered one of Pixar's best movies ever. Which is a no one surprise here. 90% of people love this movie. And notice that most of these Pixar movies have over 8% on IMDb. Even Inside Out there has an 8.0. It's just surprising that Coco isn't in the top 10. I'm surprised. But again, Pixar has so many lower seed movies. It's not too surprising that Coco didn't make it in the top 10. Maybe we could make it a top 11. But yeah, Finding Nemo is still considered one of Pixar's best movies. And I remember watching this movie so much when I was a kid too. Because I liked the movie back then. It was about underwater animals and stuff. But yep, number 3 best Pixar movies. Number 2, Ratatouille. And yeah, the reason why I asked not the food, because of the food that's called Ratatouille. Don't rate the food that's, rate the movie Ratatouille. So yeah, Ratatouille has a 91%. Which I think the only other movie that's on par with this is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish by other studios. But again, I've always ranked other studios like DreamWorks and stuff. We're currently doing the MCU, so yeah. Ratatouille, 91% of people like this movie. Which is, I'm surprised it's ranked at this high. Number 2, best Pixar movie. And number 1 should be no one surprise to anybody. And that is, we just have to subtract the 2 from Toy Story 2. And yeah, we have the first Toy Story. The movie that starred Pixar. 93% of people liked Toy Story 1. Okay? So, 93% of people like this movie. So that means only 7% of people thought it was either average, and literally nobody said it was a bad movie. Literally 0 people said Toy Story, the first one, is a bad movie. Which shows how this movie has basically stood the test of time. And also, if I find it on YouTube, somebody made this movie but with real toys. Yeah, I don't know if Pixar took it down or Disney took it down, but yeah, someone actually made Toy Story stop motion of actual toys. Real life toys. They actually also made Toy Story 3 with live action toys as well. Which so dedicated to the Toy Story fan base because, yeah, they made Toy Story 3 and Toy Story in live action. Not Toy Story 2, but they made it with real toys, which is, very, very impressive as well. Okay? That people made both Toy Story and Toy Story 3 with real life toys. I hope Pixar, congratulates these people for making this because it probably took a lot of effort to make a live action Toy Story 1 and 2. Okay? Maybe one day we'll get Toy Story 2 in real life, and Toy Story 3, Toy Story 4 in real life. Oh, someone did make Toy Story 2. It doesn't have as much as Toy Story, the first and the third movie, but yeah, someone has made live action Toy Story and live action Toy Story 3, and also live action Toy Story 2. The last one that has not been made in live action is Toy Story 4. So let's be done with this video here. Goodbye.